Hello and welcome to Rainy Day Crafting. I'm still going to stick with the sort of being poorly cards, okay? So this card that I did on my last one, which is hashtag 50. Yeah, I think it's hashtag 50. Since that, I coloured the wings in. But I just want to show you, after I'd done that, I then... what I did, I don't know if you've heard of this stuff. I think it's lovely, this glossy accents. What I did... I went along and coloured his, if you don't know what this glossy accents is, if I show you this, I don't know how well you can sort of see, quite shiny, and that goes on very cloudy, then it dries up. But as a card, on a card, it's got a lovely effect. But I don't know how well you can, hopefully you can see these quite well. Basically, I used regular, they were just, you know, Crayola, felt tips, okay, not, and you know, not different colour, you know, not, you know, you can't do different shades. It's just regular, you know, typical sort of off the shelf Crayola tips. They're quite nice, and they obviously dried lovely. But when I put the glossy accents on, as it was drying, can you see? And I'm really gutted. The actual bugs bled. Look. You know, I still think I might use them, but I'm a bit gutted. But if you don't know this glossy accents, it's lovely stuff. And I do use it occasionally on my cards, but I often have to show you one I've done earlier. So can you see where it sort of dripped off? It goes quite thick, but it does give a lovely effect. So if you can imagine that now, not with those little bugs that have bled out into it. Okay, you could arguably say there's like an aura around him a bit, but it's disappointing because I don't know about you, I like a card to look just right. So I still might use them, but I worked out a technique just to sort of let you know if if you do use this stuff. All you'd need to do, so I just tried it on here really, is you know when I put my clear embossing powder on, yeah. You know, when you stamp something, you put the clear embossing powder on. Just put it like with one of these little pads, embossing pads, over that little bit. Doesn't matter if it go over. And then put some clear embossing powder on, heat seal it, and then I believe, I shall make sure I should do a card and sort of verify that with you. But then, if you were to then put the glossy accents on the card, your original, whatever it was, won't bleed. Using the Distressed Oxides, maybe that wouldn't have done it. It might just been those crayons. But anyway, it's disappointing when you do something like that, because then I think, oh, I should have just done one. Because, you know, I feel I sort of wasted quite a bit of time doing those. But I will still potentially try and use them. But can you see, they really do give a gorgeous effect. And then, if that was like on your card as you're building it up, which was my plan, you see, that would go on there. I'd put my ribbon on. And that is really quite effective on your card. Anyway, back to the card today. That was just an extra little tip really. Okay, so back to the card that I'm going to do. Like I say, I'm still keeping on that theme of get well. Get rid of these out of the way, that can go now. So what I was going to do is basically, I'm doing this card. This was one that I originally was going to use for this one, yeah, but because it got this on here, because it's a case of working with the dies, sorry, not the dies, the stamps you've got, and I was planning to sort of mask that off in some way, but because I still liked the jar, I thought, do you know what, I'm going to still use it. This was it's no brand, no name brand, this is it, but it comes with a little jar of, I don't know how well you can see this, buttons, love, hope, wishes, kisses. Okay, so I'm a lover of hearts, so potentially I'm going to put hearts in the jar. So let's go. Okay, so what I'll be doing now is using my stamping board. I know maybe some of you people who now watch me, you know, already know exactly what you're doing. But if you're new to this, because I'm a great encourager of anybody new to crafting. Okay, these cards I love come from Hobbycraft, 50 in a pack, I believe. If I just quickly show you, these are them. 6x6 premium card, blank and envelopes, 30 GSMs, which is nice and thick. They've got that gorgeous texture. Hobbycraft. I think they're about £7 a pack, but if you work it out for 50 cards and envelopes, but they do deals sometimes where you buy 2 get 1 free, so, which I'm a lover of. Anyway, that's that. This, like I say, this is an unknown brand. So what you'd be doing now, you'd be putting this as to where you want it. I'm planning to put a die cut sentiment on there, so I think I'll just have it slightly to the left. Okay, so position it, because obviously it's not been used, been printed. After you use them, use a baby wipe brush to clear them down, or even just some clear water will get rid of it. So if I wanted to sort of have that in my sentiment there, that's about right. Okay, so then you'd shut your door down on it. All right, and then as you can see, it's totally in the right place. So VersaFine pigment ink for fine details. I maintain best on the market. Obviously you have an embossing stamp pad with that, which I have got up there, but if I'm doing some things, this one's gone a bit messy, so I just use this one up really, but I still like the VersaFine best of all, I believe. Right, so then just lightly pop it on there. I want to show you how easy it is if you want to then do a job lot. So down we go. Got one of these. I forget I've got it. I bought it cheaply. eBay, £3 something. And that was with free post. It took a while to come, so you know it come from another area. I think it's from, it looks like, or one of those hockey things, you know, when you play that ice hockey. But anyway, that, if you've got any sort of joint issues, look at that. It really sort of evenly pops it there. So there we have card done. So now, if you, I'm just going to do like a couple just to show you what I mean. If you are now plan to do a job lot, you know, you could do a dozen sort of baseline cards, couldn't you, and then personalize them. And at the minute there's lots of people having that dreaded you know what, but you have to turn it around to a positive, don't you, because last year this time that's a different story. So wasn't it, you know, people with all the jabs on board now are in a much better place. So leave that then to one side with the powder on. Okay, so then you would literally, like I say, if I was now sitting here in my office just doing a load of cards, pop that one back in there because it fits in the right place, pop them on to hold it in place. Yep, print it up. These stamping platforms, I forget I got that, are brilliant, purely because if you didn't, you know, that's perfectly okay, but if it didn't print that well, obviously you can just reload it up again, pop it over there and redo. So that's just for now, and you're going to do the two like that just to see. You know, you could do a dozen if you wanted, you know, it's almost like a little bit of a conveyor belt, isn't it? Powder on, which this is, I buy, this is the Wow Clear Embossing. Okay, done. Put that out of the way. I'm going to now do, let's put, that's where it is at the moment. Don't know if I even need that at the moment, so let's just leave that out of the way. Right, that's it. So now with my heat gun, to show you one, if you haven't seen this, oh, it's like magic. You don't have to use the embossing, clear embossing powder on this, but that gives it such a lovely, well, it's a lovely shine to it. But also if you're planning to colour in or watercolour or anything like that, there it goes, it just leaves a lovely crisp sort of edge to your stamping. So there we go. Right, so now, forgot to do this, what I should have done, because I'm going to put a jar full of love. So I'm just going to quickly do that now. I would have then put it on the stamping block in the exactly place where it was meant to be, but for now I'm just going to do it that way. Can I read it properly? Ooh. Love. Okay, a jar of love. So that had buttons, kisses, hope, love, wishes. So don't want to lose that, do I? So I'll just leave it on there for now. Okay, so that's that. So then my next plan is back out with this. Remember, what this is where the white. I didn't try to shut that off properly because I didn't want to muck about and get because once you've got ink in the wrong place, a little bit of humbug. Do you know what? I might even just put that underneath, because if not, you know what's going to happen. It could end up on the back of your card. Because I shut the thing off. Right, that's going there. Okay. Now, because I was going to do the hearts, they are going to go in there. Hopefully you can see this all okay. So it fit just beautifully in there. Actual fact, you don't need this on here, do you? Okay, so let's move it out of the way. Shut. Oh, hang on. It's all in the right place. So just make sure they're where they need to be. These are just little magnetic. So now shut it down on there. So we know it's in the right place. Now I'm just going to use some red festive berries. So it doesn't make it, you know, it doesn't sort of jump out at you too much. What's then showing? Hold on, she says, on the top there. So if you do sort of see anything else on there, just get rid of it first. Right. On there. See, it's not done ever so well, but this is the beauty. Because it's in the right place, pop it back, give it a bit more. To be fair, this is probably the first time I've used this stamp, and they actually get much better with use. Okay, so hopefully it's still wet enough. Maybe just one more. Quite a lovely little stamp actually, isn't it? But you see, if you'd have just done this with one of the blocks, the chances of you getting it in the right place again, well, it's just like win the lottery probably. So, back over now. Because with a bit of luck, that's still just a little bit wet. This is why you generally don't need to buy all the different embossing colours, because whatever colour you're using potentially, that will now take. So again, just for easiness, just put this out of the way. I'll clear that up later. I don't think I need any more for you. So back to, oh, hang on, lid on, because the next thing, that'll be a solid block, won't it? Oh, look what I've done. I must have had something on my fingers. Oh, no, 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 no. Sometimes if you're lucky, where I've mucked up on that, I'll be able to get that off there. It really does annoy me if it does that. I'll leave it to dry properly and then probably use an eraser on that. Okay, so that's there already. Now, what I would do, if it was that I now wasn't happy with that, rather than say, oh, card scrapped, what you could then do, which is actually what I might do, actually. Change of plan. which actually what I'm now going to do, change the plan. What I'll do, wouldn't waste the card, because that I feel I couldn't give that with that. So I would keep that, because that's totally useful. Now, what I was going to do, I'm just going to show you. I've got a VersaFine pen, which I was just going to colour this in, which obviously makes it sticky, and then put some silver on. But because I'm now going to do what I'm going to do, let's just actually cut that off again. This is like, while doing it live, you can sort of see if you muck up, you know, don't over worry, because you have wasted a card in a sense. But rather than get all the way finished and think, oh, I've mucked that up too much, all these little bits keep, you know, for when you're doing sentiments or something. So keep all them, which I do. That's there. Right, now back to what I was going to do with the pen. Do you know what? I might still do it with the pen, just because if that was regularly on your card, you'll see what I'm doing. This has got a thick end and a thin end. So what I'd be doing, so it's like got a little silver lid. Okay. Bit of scrap paper here. All right, so that's on there. Back in the pot. Put your lid on before you forget. Okay, now heat gun, magic. That actually might just need, can you sort of see, because I'm now going to be cutting this out, it doesn't now matter if I go over the edge a little bit, but so I haven't missed anything. Back to this. I don't know where I've got them little bits come on here from. I'll take that out later. Try and fiddle with it now. So back to the heat gun. Okay, right, I'm going to, now while I just get on with the other little bit, because obviously I should be getting a new card out now. I'll put them out of the way. And I'll try and make this a bit quicker again now, because some I've done earlier. So with the card, new card, always try and make sure your table is as clean as it can be, because that's the only thing, you know, these inks really do print, and the next thing you've got mucking up your card, haven't you? So another one of these cards, just checking my hands are right, if not I'll be in the same position. Pop it down there, and then what I'm going to do, as soon as that's cold, I'm going to cut that out. So I will actually probably raise that up, but just over to the next bit. This is a Get Well. Just a tip here again, I've got obviously a couple of Get Wells. I keep my boxes, a box, apologies, with all my happy birthdays. These are all dies, yeah. But I print them out. Okay, I didn't put that on card, but like on a piece of paper with a bit of sellotape. I know it's probably going to say Trace Staines. You probably can, yes, that's happy birthday. But sometimes you can look and think, what does that say? Something like, oh, the just wanted to say. sometimes it's hard to work out with that die what it says. So by doing that, and just these are little plastic bags, you can use, a lot of these things come in those flow bags, don't they? Anyway, and I just keep them all in here, and they're ready for when I want. Look, big hugs, send it, you know, so that this is my supply. Okay, there's quite a few, to be fair. I have told myself, I don't know how good I'm going to be. I'm not going to get anything this year at all. Just use what I've got, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, I've got to whatever today's date is. I've got this far. So what I'm then going to do, that will be being cut and being popped on there, and I just want to put the Get Well Soon there. I've already cut. If you've got a die machine, this is my little one, because obviously I've got a big one for big things, and I have these are very handy. If you know, you can obviously still use just a big one or whatever, but these little ones are very handy for much more smaller things. So I've cut out, this is, I don't know if you can see, where I mucked up on one of my cards the other day. This is just the old card being reused, because nobody knows that's underneath. Now, what I just want to show you is, I had a card round here. I think I've now mislaid it. It had some pink heart. Oh, here it is. I was all ready to show you, actually. Some pink hearts on. Okay, so I'd done this out of part of the card. This is just an old, oh, I think it's actually one of my 60th birthday cards, because I was 60 last year now. Get Well, that was just out of a bit of scrap. And this, I cut off there. There had 2 lots of hearts. And I just want to show you what a lovely, hang on, if I show you on here, what a lovely effect it has. You know, if you want to then literally be able to colour or something, that'd be take you time consuming. But sometimes what I mean in there is look at your card or whatever, because you might not think, oh, that Get Well through. That was literally me popping it on that piece of card, winding it through, and that sort of picked up that design, which is what I'm using. Okay, so right now, cut this out, Sarah. We are nearly there. Obviously I was planning to do it just, you know, no layering up or popping up or anything, but because I mucked up the card, yes, I could have stopped the video and done it again, but I just want to possibly show you too how, can't we can sort of muck up, and the only thing it's not going to show is not the end of the world. If you, in actual fact, if I was now doing it, I'd possibly then reprint that on the card. Yep, I think I've taken it out now, so that would be hard to sort of oh, you know what, hang on, I didn't want to make these very long videos. The more, I mean, I'd love to be able to give as many tips as possible. I'm going to quickly do that, and you'll see exactly what I mean. Because actually, putting that on the card doesn't matter after all. Let's bring this back into the equation. Let's make sure this is, just to clean these is just a baby wipe will do it lovely. Just want to make sure I got that on my hands. Now, because we have got that clean card again. Oh, look what I've done. See, this is where you have to be so careful. Let's use the other side. Where are my little stamp bits are? New card. Keep it in the place you want it. Pop that, allowing that we shall have like that on there, so that can go there in the right place. Sorry, you've been shown the procedure again, but I just want to quickly show you. There might even, no, I would say be enough. You wouldn't necessarily, if you're doing this, because I just wanted to show that, you wouldn't necessarily have to do it ever so strongly, because it's just giving you a baseline of where that's going. Okay, so I'm not even going to bother doing this. I suppose I could show you how it has a different effect. Just make sure it's dry. Just dried that off. Okay, move this out the way. This is, like I say, where you have to be so careful you don't get any of your inks in the place. Right, that's cut out. So now, if you pop it over there, can you see? It's, even if you put it totally flat down, yeah, that would cover up, but you've still got your intricate stuff there. But I think for easiness, I'm going to do what I put this up. I think sometimes when they're actually put up, they sort of make it pop on the card, doesn't it? So there we go. And can you see if I hold that up right close? Yeah. And then just something as simple as that on there. Card made. So I think I'm going to move that out of the way there. Just move that out of the way. Now, you could put... Oh, she says, glue on there and stick. Do you know what? You know how to stick a card. And so that would just stick on there. You could have done it red, a little bit of red or something maybe, but I just put that there to save you time. Card made, and I shall then. Okay. So till the next one. Thank you very much for joining me, Sarah Rainy Day Crafting. See you soon. Cheers then.